August 16th, 2001. An FBI agent in Minnesota arrests a suspicious flight student who only wants to learn how to steer a Boeing 737, not take off or land, just steer. He sends 70 urgent emails to Washington. 67 go unanswered. 3 get read but ignored. 26 days later, that student's associates kill 2,977 people. But what if just one person in Washington had replied? This isn't a story about conspiracy theories or secret plots. This is about something more terrifying. Competent people, accurate intelligence, and a system too broken to connect the dots. Summer 2001. The CIA knows Al-Qaeda is planning something big in the United States. They just don't know what. The FBI has multiple field agents reporting suspicious Middle Eastern men taking flight lessons and asking weird questions, like how to disable cockpit doors. In Phoenix, an agent writes a memo titled Suspected Terrorist Enrollment in Civil Aviation Universities. It warns that Al-Qaeda might be training pilots for attacks. The memo sits unread in a pile for 3 weeks. In Minnesota, that FBI agent arrests Zacarias Moussaoui on August 16, 2001. Moussaoui paid $8,300 in cash for flight simulator training on a 747. He has no pilot's license, he's overstayed his visa, and he's acting extremely suspicious. The Minneapolis FBI office begs headquarters for a warrant to search his laptop. They're told, no, not enough evidence. The agent literally tells his supervisor, someday someone will die and the public will not understand why we were not more effective. He sends this warning on August 27, 2001, 15 days before he's proven right. The problem? The CIA and FBI don't share information. By law and by culture, they operate in silos. The CIA has intelligence that some of the hijackers are in the U.S. The FBI has reports of suspicious flight training. Neither agency talks to the other. It's not that the warnings didn't exist, it's that no single person could see them all at once. So here's our divergence. August 27, 2001. Instead of being ignored, the Minnesota agent's email lands in front of someone who actually reads it. Not a high-ranking official, just a mid-level analyst at FBI headquarters having a slow morning. She reads about Moussaoui. She remembers the Phoenix memo from 3 weeks ago about suspicious flight students. She makes one phone call to a CIA liaison she went to college with. Hey, do you guys have anything on Middle Eastern men and flight training? The CIA analyst checks, and there it is. 2 of the 9/11 hijackers, Nawaf al-Khazmi and Khalid al-Midhar, were flagged 18 months ago at a terrorist meeting in Malaysia. They're on a watch list. They're known Al-Qaeda, and they're currently living in San Diego. One conversation, 5 minutes. The dots get connected. Within 48 hours, the FBI arrests Moussaoui, al-Khazmi, and al-Midhar. They search Moussaoui's laptop and find connections to Mohammed Atta and the other plotters. By September 5th, the entire cell is in custody. September 11th, 2001 arrives. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in New York, and nothing happens. In our timeline, 9/11 defined a generation. In this timeline, it's a terrorist plot that was quietly thwarted. Most Americans never even hear about it. President Bush gives a brief address. Thanks to the vigilance of our intelligence services, a potential threat has been neutralized. Americans can fly with confidence. That's it. No 9/11 Commission, no Department of Homeland Security, no color-coded threat levels. 2,977 people who died in our timeline wake up on September 12th and go to work. Firefighters who became heroes never enter those towers. Passengers on Flight 93 land safely in San Francisco. The words, "Let's roll," remain just words. But here's what's strange. No one knows they were saved. Those 2,977 people go about their lives completely unaware they were supposed to die. The firefighters don't know they avoided becoming legends. The passengers don't know they were meant to be heroes. Prevention is invisible. We remember disasters. We forget close calls. Now the timeline really diverges, because without 9/11, there's no war on terror, at least not the one we know. In October 2001, when we invaded Afghanistan in our timeline, this timeline sees limited special operations targeting the al-Qaeda camps where the captured plotters were trained, surgical strikes, in and out, no 20-year occupation. Iraq? Saddam Hussein is still a problem, but without 9/11 creating political momentum, there's no 2003 invasion, no WMD claims, no regime change, no sectarian civil war, no ISIS emerging from the power vacuum. By 2005, the Middle East looks completely different. Hussein's Iraq still exists. Syria doesn't collapse into civil war because there's no ISIS to destabilize it. The refugee crisis that will reshape European politics in our timeline never happens. The cost? In our timeline, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan cost $8 trillion and over 900,000 lives. American soldiers, coalition forces, and civilians. In this timeline, that money is never spent. Those lives are never lost. But there's a darker question. Without 9/11, does America get complacent? The prevented attack proves the system worked, so there's no massive intelligence reform, no information sharing protocols, no TSA. Which means in 2005, 2008, 2012, when the next plots are forming, the same broken system is still in place. Maybe we stop those too, or maybe, eventually, one gets through. The cultural changes are profound. In our timeline, 9/11 changed everything. The way we travel, the way we see the world, the stories we tell. In this timeline, you still show up to the airport 30 minutes before your flight. No TSA, no liquid restrictions, no taking off your shoes. Security exists, but it's not performative paranoia. Surveillance culture develops differently. The Patriot Act is never passed. The NSA doesn't get expanded powers to monitor every American's communications. Edward Snowden is just an IT contractor, not a whistleblower. Pop culture changes too. No Homeland, no Zero Dark 30, no United 93. The entertainment of the 2000s isn't defined by terrorism and military heroism. Instead, we probably get more 90s-style optimism lasting longer. And Islamophobia? It still exists, but without 9/11 as a catalyst, it doesn't spike the way it did. Hate crimes against Muslims in the U.S. increased 1,600% after 9/11 in our timeline. In this one, that surge never happens. A generation of Muslim Americans grows up without being automatically viewed as suspicious. New York itself is different. The Freedom Tower is never built because the Twin Towers never fell. The financial district looks the same in 2026 as it did in 2001. The skyline is unchanged. So here's what makes this timeline heartbreaking. It was possible. Not easy, not likely, but possible. The intelligence existed. The warnings were sent. The hijackers were known. Moussaoui was in custody. All the pieces were there. They just weren't assembled. After 9/11, the investigation found at least 23 separate opportunities to disrupt the plot. 23 moments where different decisions could have changed everything, and every single opportunity was missed. Not because of evil, not because of incompetence, but because of bureaucracy, because of protocols, because agencies didn't talk to each other, because warning signs were everywhere, but no one had permission to see them all. In this alternate timeline, September 11th, 2001 is forgotten. A terrorist plot that never made the front page. A catastrophe that was prevented so successfully that it became invisible. Those 2,977 people lived. Their families never grieved. The wars never happened. The world moved on. But here's the tragedy of prevention. We only remember the disasters that happen. We forget the ones that don't. Somewhere in an alternate timeline, a mid-level FBI analyst made one phone call, and she saved the world, and no one will ever know. Sometimes the best timelines are the ones where nothing happens.